I was in college. I wasn't very old, but I was on my senior year. There was this huge homework project we had to do, and I didn't have a computer, but I needed one. So, after I left my dorm at about 5 o'clock, I went to my parents' house. I then went on my tablet and searched for a computer. I found one, even though it took me about an hour. It was a Windows Longhorn. Those weren't very famous or popular, since only about 1,000 computer copies had been released. Unlike the XP or Vista. It was at a strangely low price, $299.99. I really don't think I should have trusted it. Now that I look back, I had been looking on eBay and it was in an ad. Clicked on the ad and bought the computer. The man selling it, I called the man selling it, and he said to meet me at the computer store that was a couple of blocks down from my street. About a week later, I went to meet the man. He was a middle-aged man, probably in his 40s. His shop was very small, and I'd never gone in there before. It smelled like some sort of burnt match or burnt cigarette butts. I don't know, it was just some bad burnt smells. Anyway, he told me to pay up on my on my credit card or with cash. I've been saving up in my giant water bottle bank, which I had brought with me, and I forgot it. I told him I would go back to the car and get it. Eventually, about a minute later, I came back with it. He managed to utter out one sentence. "So this will be in cash?" "Yes," I said. He didn't say anything. He put the bottle of coins under his desk and handed me the computer in a box. "Thank you," I told him. The man said nothing. Back to my car and drove back to my parents' house. I booted up my computer. It was pretty cool. I'd never seen a Longhorn before. So I searched for any files that were left. I couldn't find any. I assumed that the computer had been completely wiped out. Not really wiped out like fried, though. After about a day's work of logging and researching for my school project, I used the computer the following day. I went to the local C-disk drive and I found a strange folder. It read October 3rd, 2014, or 10-3-14. It was locked. I tried every password I knew possible, and I couldn't get into it. Then I saw a post-it note at the bottom of the box he'd given me. It said, "Longhorn. I assumed this was the password, and I was correct. It brought me to 4 files. There was a normal desktop.ini file, along with 3 other mysterious files. One of them was labeled clip01.wmv. The other video file was named clip02.wmv. Okay, I said, then I noticed the file that was at the bottom of the folder. I was very suspicious. It said, "Don't read this, .text." I figured it was just some stupid troll that had hacked into my computer. I knew it couldn't be that harmful. So I gathered a little bit of courage and opened it up. The font was red, and it was in Comic Sans. It read, "I found you. Period. I found you." It skipped 2 lines, and then it read, "You can't run from me." Skipped another 2 lines, and it said, "You can't hide from me." I thought this was very strange. I thought the computer had been totally wiped out. Suspicious, I immediately closed the text file and played the 2 clips. The first one couldn't be played. Thought this was strange. And then I played the second file. It was shot from a very still camera of what looked like inside of a public bus. I heard people talking in the background, and then after about 5 minutes, the talking stopped, and the lights on the street went out. The camera then got shaky. It started to rain outside the bus. Then I noticed that the camera was pushed to the left towards the window. It was shaking even crazier now. And then the screen faded to black, and then to white, and then back to black. Oreo screen, I joked to myself. I closed the file, acting very suspicious. I opened the desktop.ini file. It was just like any other batch file, which I'd have to call it. Then I noticed a subfolder all the way at the bottom. It was titled Clip03. I opened the folder, and there was a 3rd clip. I played it. It was only about 50 seconds long. No, I had misread it. It was only 5 seconds long. I heard the voice of a young man, probably in his 20s, yell, "He's coming for you now! Just go away! And don't run! And don't come back!" Okay, that seemed like it was 10 seconds. I was immediately freaked out that I shut the computer off. It threw it on the couch, and I ran to my parents' bedroom, screeching indistinctly. "What's wrong, sweetie?" my mom asked. The computer, the man, I kept stuttering indistinctly. My dad was puzzled. He looked up from his newspaper. You joking with me again, little boy? No, I continued. This went on for about 15 minutes. My mom just told me to go to bed. I couldn't sleep that night. I was just terrified of that clip 03. It was just so mysterious. He's coming for you now. Run and don't come back. I was so freaked out. And then I looked out my bedroom window. It was encrusted with sports stickers from when I was a little kid. Believe it or not, I was actually sleeping in the same bedroom. I saw something out of my sticker-covered window. It was hard to make out from all the sports balls that were hung up on my wall. I looked through the transparent balls and saw a silhouette of what seemed like a bus driver or something. Or something that was a conductor or something leading a transportation vehicle. Because I noticed the cap. The only thing I could see on his face were those sharp teeth that just smiled. He then raised his cold, bony finger and signaled me to come through the window and come talk to him. I nodded my head and immediately locked up the window. What kind of sick creep would be looking through my window at 11 o'clock at night? What a sick, foul idiot, I thought as I turned over away from the window, stuffed my head inside my pillow. At about 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard someone tap on the window. It was the same figure. Same teeth and the same bony finger. I yelped so loud it woke up the whole neighborhood. Even the figure covered his ears. I ran to my parents' bedroom and immediately jumped between my mom and dad. I was sucking my thumb like a little baby, and after 5 minutes I was asleep. They didn't even notice I jumped in the bed. The next day as I drove to my college, Stanford University, took a lot of guts to get to. I walked into my beginning class. I would usually have all my friends come and slap me on the shoulder and say, "Welcome, come on." You know, and all that good stuff. Nobody even noticed me walking through the door. And then after about 5 minutes, the teacher finally acknowledged me. At least someone did. Nobody even looked at me. Except for the teacher. "Do you have anything to say for yourself?" the teacher asked. All the kids in the class suddenly looked at me. I gulped. It felt like a big piece of steak was going down my throat. So terrified. What have I done wrong? I asked. I don't bother anybody. What? You know what you did, the teacher said. "I don't know what I did," I shouted. I flipped my desk. I was so angry. I started acting like a gorilla. I hopped on top of my flipped desk and started pounding my chest and dragging my arms on the floor. I made monkey noises. I started breathing heavily. My heart was pounding so hard it felt like it was going to jump out of my mouth, or my chest, or whatever. Every single person just gazed at me like I was some sort of sicko, which I was. I almost practically tore the door off and ran out of the school. I ran to my parents' house. I just can't do it, I yelled when I finally got through the door. I just can't do it. I had no idea what was going on. It's like someone was taking over my body. And we're gonna stop there. Just make sure for part 2.